All right, let's just jump right in. We're about to unpack an archive record that details the birth of something the galaxy was, well, fundamentally unprepared for. This isn't just a story about some monster. We're talking about the chronicle of a god.
I mean, that one line from the archive, it just sets the stage perfectly, right? It's a warning. We're talking about things that aren't just powerful, they're wrong. Their very existence could pull reality apart at the seams. And yeah, this is the story of one of them.
So where does a story like this start? Well, like any good myth, right? With a sign from the heavens. You've got this tear in reality, just bleeding green fire, screaming down onto this moon, crawling with orcs. And the crazy part, they're not running, they're cheering. They know something huge is about to happen.
And bursting out of that crater, a titan of pure, unadulterated fury, a being we all know as the Hulk. First thing he does, finds the biggest guy around, the local war boss, and just levels him. One hit. And just like that, there's a new boss in town. The thing is, this lines up perfectly with how orcs think. The biggest and the meanest? Yeah, that's the one in charge. End of story.
But here's the twist. Inside this new boss, you've got this massive conflict, right? On one hand, there's Bruce Banner, the scientist, totally terrified, basically begging, hey, I'm not in charge here. But then you've got the Hulk, a creature of pure rage who, for maybe the first time ever, is surrounded by beings who love violence. He's finally home.
And an orc named Grimskull just lays it out, plain and simple. It's brutal, but that's their reality. There's zero room for weakness. Banner is begging for peace. To them, that's a liability. If he's not going to be the boss, someone else will step up, and that's probably going to get him killed. He is absolutely trapped. Okay, but this whole situation, it's about to get so much bigger. We're not just talking about a strong guy leading a bunch of thugs anymore. No, this is where they stumble onto the secret of a power source that is genuinely limitless and terrifying.
So this brings us to the key question, the thing that makes this whole story tick. How can collective belief, just thinking something, physically change reality? Because in this part of the galaxy, belief isn't just in your head. It's a force of nature. And the orcs, they're the masters. The answer is something called the Waaagh field. It's this collective psychic energy that all orcs generate, and it literally bends reality to fit what they believe. Think about it. If enough of them believe a red truck is faster, it actually goes faster. If they believe their boss is the toughest dude around, well, he gets tougher. And right now, you've got tens of thousands of these guys absolutely convinced that the Hulk is the strongest thing to ever exist, ever.
And this is where things get really scary. A smart orc, a mech boss named Grimgut, he puts the pieces together. The orcs believe the Hulk is the strongest, so the Waaagh field makes him stronger. Then they see how much stronger he is, which makes their belief even more unshakable. You see the loop? It's a fire that just keeps feeding itself. There's no upper limit. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
And Grimgut, he sums up this completely insane, reality-breaking idea with one simple, chilling phrase. He calls it a portable Waaagh in a can. All that power, all that reality-bending energy concentrated into one single, angry, green dude. But there's a weird side effect to all this. Because all that psychic energy is focused on one boss, it starts to stabilize the two guys fighting inside his head. It's like a bridge starts forming between Banner's genius brain and the Hulk's endless rage. They're starting to become, as the orcs see it, two bosses in one. So, you've got this insane new weapon. What do you do with it? You need a target. And boy, do they pick a doozy. They set their sights on the demon world of Infernus Prime. This is a place that has already shattered two massive Imperial crusades. This isn't just a battle. It's going to be the anvil where this new god gets forged. And the attack kicks off in the most orc way imaginable. Forget fancy maneuvers or brilliant strategy. The command is just ramming formation. That's it. They just turn their ships into giant bullets and smash a hole straight through the enemy's defensive line. And down on the ground, you see the true, unstoppable force of this new Hulk. He's leading the charge, just tearing through everything. He takes out a greater daemon with a single punch. A Chaos Space Marine shoots him with explosive rounds, and he just looks at him and says, "That tickles," before grabbing the guy and using him as a club. I mean, come on. For 14 hours, 14 straight hours, he's just an engine of pure destruction, a green tidal wave that nothing can stop.
But even a god engine can start to sputter. After all that time, all that fighting, his impossible strength, this thing fueled by rage and psychic belief, it finally starts to fade.
And right there, that's the turning point. This isn't just about fighting demons anymore. The real fight is happening inside his head. For this new being to survive, two minds have to make one last, terrifying choice together.
Just as the Hulk is starting to weaken, a new enemy shows up, a keeper of secrets. And this thing is smart. It doesn't go for the body, it goes for the mind. It starts whispering all these temptations, promises of rest, of release, right into the head of the exhausted Bruce Banner. It's attacking the weakest link.
And as this demon's claws are sinking into his skin, as his healing factor finally starts to slow down, it whispers this taunt right in his ear. This is it. This is the moment of defeat. It looks like the god is about to fall.
But right then, in that split second, something happens. A silent choice is made. Banner and the Hulk both realize they've been holding back this whole time, scared of what they might truly become. So together, they decide. They stop fighting it, they just let go and open the floodgates to the full, raw power of the Waaagh Waaagh.
And boom! In a flash of green light, a totally new being is born. It's a perfect fusion. The Hulk's infinite rage and Banner's unmatched intellect all in one. And its first words echo across the battlefield, a statement of pure, terrifying purpose. Hulk smash, Banner plans. Together, we win. The Green God is here.
So, the battle's over. They won. But the archive is very, very clear on this next point. This victory, this wasn't the end of the story. Oh no. This was just a terrifying beginning.
And just to put an exclamation point on it, the Green God does something that should be impossible. He walks right up to the main warp portal, this festering wound in reality, and he punches it. Not the rocks around it. He punches the idea of the portal. And because tens of thousands of orcs believe he can, he shatters it. He literally breaks a law of physics with his fists.
But you gotta understand, this victory came at a hell of a price. Look at these numbers. Over half the entire Waaagh, more than 28,000 orcs, died in a single day. This wasn't some clean strategic win, it was a meat grinder. And what came out the other side was a whole new kind of weapon. And that brings us to the final chilling warning from the archive. The Green God proved that pure rage can be focused, that mindless violence can be given a terrifying purpose. But in creating that, has he forged a weapon that the galaxy just can't survive? A being that's now walking outside of fate itself and just tearing it to shreds with every single step he takes.